Moving on to Season 2, the next US band episode is The Wedding Destroyers. Jen is stressed out about her mom's upcoming wedding to Jonesy's dad. She likes Jonesy's dad, but the idea of Jonesy and her brothers being her new stepbros drives her crazy. Her sister Courtney has her back, and it's turned into a battle of the genders. Later on, Jen and Courtney are arguing with Jonesy and his brothers because they scheduled their dad's bachelor party in the same place and time as they scheduled their mom's bachelorette party. Jonesy tries to find Jen to argue and walks in on her undressed. Jen runs off, and Jonesy decides that actually they will move the party. Yeah, good idea. Later on, the boys and girls argue over what wedding group gift to give their parents. The Masterson girls not liking the Garcia's idea to get them massage chairs, but they are outvoted 3-2, only pushing Jen and Courtney into further rage. They get revenge by convincing Jonesy's dad to give them the attic room that was promised to Jonesy and his brother Diego. Jonesy, out of anger, changes his mind about moving the bachelor party, so now both parties are happening at the same place, with one being quiet and laid back and the other being loud and rowdy. I'll let you guess which one is which. Naturally, this leads to an argument and both groups are kicked out. Things only get worse at the wedding rehearsal when Jen is giving a speech about how her mom met Mr. Garcia and Diego continuously interjects with corrections about small details of the story. She pours a drink on Diego and they start fighting over breadsticks. Meanwhile, Jonesy is staring at his sister's chest, because if there's one thing we know Jonesy is gonna do, it's be creepy around his stepsisters. An all-out food fight ensues and their parents decide that the fighting is too much and announce they are calling off the wedding. Jen's mom is crying and everyone feels horrible. You should. In an attempt to fix things, Ron the security guard steps up and brokers a peace treaty between the Mastersons and the Garcias, and they come to a compromise that allows them to get along for the sake of their parents. You'd think Jonesy and Jen would be able to get along better since they've been in the same friend group for so long, but then again, this is Jonesy we're dealing with. So the wedding goes on as planned and it seems everyone is getting along now, but then Jonesy tells Jen that her dress is torn and everyone can see her underwear. The end. So obviously this episode was banned for obvious reasons. Obviously, the scene where Jen is topless was the most obvious reason, but also the scene of Jonesy staring at Courtney's chest and the ending with Jen's underwear being exposed all contributed to this episode being banned from airing on Cartoon Network in the US of A. But would you believe there's another reason this episode was banned? In our subplot, Nikki is accused of shoplifting at the khaki barn by the clones. She accidentally puts a bandana in her pocket and she's accused of doing it on purpose. Nikki is appalled at being accused of stealing, but even more offended at the idea that she would want any clothes from the khaki barn. They say a label gun was stolen earlier and they suspect it was her. They make her start using a clear bag at work to make sure she's not stealing. Nikki decides enough is enough of this treatment and finally quits her job at the khaki barn. But later the clones realize it was a little kid named Stanley who stole the gun, and they are worried because they know this could get them in hot water with the head office for harassment and false accusations. So they find Nikki at the wedding reception and beg her to come back, and she agrees with the condition of 3 breaks a day and the ability to take breaks whenever she wants. Cartoon Network already banned an earlier episode, The 5-Finger Discount, for having a shoplifting theme. So it's more than likely that even if this episode didn't have tons of Jen being exposed and Jonesy being a creep, it would have remained on-air anyways for this reason. Basically, it's a double threat and had a 0% chance of making it to Cartoon Network TV in the US, no matter which way you look at it. On to maybe the craziest US banned episode of 16, Overexposed. Jen and Jonesy are fighting over the bathroom when Jen's towel drops, and Jonesy sees his stepsister naked. You know, again. For the rest of the episode, Jonesy can't stop picturing Jen naked every time he sees her, and it makes for a lot of really uncomfortable energy every time they're in the same room. Jonesy tells the guys what happened in secret, and Jen tells the girls what happened in secret. They're all quick to point out that this isn't the first time this has happened. At this point, it's like an overarching plot of the show. But they agree this time is more wild because the other times he saw her topless, and this time it was everything. Later on, Jonesy has tickets to see Jen's favorite celebrity, Liza Lohman. He gives everyone tickets, but when he gives Jen her ticket, he has one of those visions again. You know, the naked kind. After Jude makes a comment about it, the guys and girls all realize that everyone knows, which leads to Jen being even more embarrassed. She runs off crying.
I'm sorry, please come back. Jen!
But Nikki has a better idea. She has a picture of Jonesy naked, and they decide to get revenge by putting a childhood photo of Jonesy on the screen at the cafe opening for everyone to see, including the celebrity guest Liza Lohman. Honestly, it wasn't really a fair trade since Jonesy saw Jen by accident and it was just him, but Jonesy's pic was shown to everybody, on purpose. But also, like, it's Jonesy, so he probably deserved it anyways. The next banned episode after this was A Crime of Fashion. Jen and Caitlyn are trying on outfits at a knockoff Abercrombie & Fitch, and Caitlyn is bad-mouthing Trisha, who purposely poured a drink on her the night before, then stole a guy from Caitlyn. Caitlyn wants a halter top very badly, but decides it's too expensive. Trisha overhears all of this and is unhappy about Caitlyn running her mouth about her. Trisha comes to fake apologize and gives Caitlyn a real coupon for the fake Abercrombie & Fitch, which Caitlyn accepts. They go to the store together, and when Caitlyn is distracted, Trisha sneaks the halter top from earlier into Caitlyn's bag, and soon Caitlyn is arrested for stealing it.
Moments later.
You'd better come with me, punk.
For framing me. I want my lawyer!
The episode was banned again for the theme of shoplifting.